everybody. Welcome to the Patriot-Owned Business live stream and podcast, presented to everybody by The Difference, which has been an awesome setup for us, and we hope everybody's enjoying our shows. We want to make sure, too, this is going to be our third show, that you go on and check out our past two shows that we have. The one with Joel Medina, and he sings you a little ditty at the end. And last week with the Crutch Singers from Operation Texas Strong, which was an awesome interview also. We do have some upcoming shows that we're excited about. On the 24th, Chad Prather will be our guest, which is also a comedian and online influencer, and he's running for governor of the state of Texas. And then on March 3rd, for another good show and very interesting conversation, is going to be with Shelley Luther, which probably everybody heard about that, about her getting thrown in jail for having her business open in 2020. But today's guest that we have is a gentleman that I had met actually online. I've seen some of his videos and seen some that he was doing as a Trump impersonator. So I figured we need to get in touch with this gentleman because we'd definitely love him to be part of Patriot-Owned Businesses. And we'll get into details on that also. But he has done a lot for Patriot-Owned Businesses, and he's a very funny guy. If you haven't seen it, any of his videos, make sure you do go online, and we'll get his information lined up. But without further ado, he's a lot more fun to talk to and to listen to than myself. Everybody at home, even though there's nobody there with you, clap for Mr. Bob Dibuono.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Doing good. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm doing all right. Everything's good. How's
Good.
life in Texas?
We appreciate you coming on here with us today. I've talked to you several times on the phone.
Yep.
You've done some videos for us, and first time I actually get to see you in person. Well, kind of.
You probably didn't recognize me. You're like,
Right.
Who's that guy? I never thought I'd be telling another man that I'm not used to being in my makeup.
That I can understand. Actually, the first time I watched one of your videos without your Trump stuff on, I even had to ask Shannon. I said, "Is this the right guy?"
Yeah.
She goes, "Oh, that's him." So, and
Yeah.
very funny stuff. Awesome.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's been quite a road. Doing the character, doing Donald Trump.
And that's what got us to see you. From the start is when I had seen. I think it was on it. It had to have been on Facebook that I had seen you.
Very possibly, or Twitter, maybe originally.
Is where it started. Now, and then you're from New Jersey, right?
Yeah, I was born in Cleveland, Ohio. Was raised in Danbury, Connecticut, and then I've been living in New Jersey for like the last 15 years because I had to be close to New York City because that's where all the auditions are and that's where all the comedy clubs are. So I had to be close. But my roots are really from Cleveland, Ohio, and that's where I was born. So. Yeah,
and that's proof and pudding right there that Patriot-Owned Businesses isn't just Texas. I mean, I can't get further east.
That's right. It's everywhere, right? It's anyone who owns a business, right? I mean, anyone who wants to be a part of that world and who has pride and in doing what they do and in supporting each other. I think what you're doing has been fantastic. So,
and we appreciate that. Again, thanks again for coming on today. We're super excited about having you. And I was telling them too, which we can dive into this here in a little bit, is through our conversations and things you've done. And I wanted to thank you personally, now that I do have some FaceTime with you, about what you did for the, volunteering your videos and time for the people that donated, for the tornado victims.
Yeah.
Every one of them loved it. It was awesome. I always see them showing it. Actually, and I'm going to show them that one. This one that just popped up, I want everybody to watch this. This was the very first one that he did for Patriot-Owned Businesses.
Oh boy.
Oh. Except for the technical difficulty of no sound.
Yeah. That's okay. If I could remember the script, I could just do the voice now.
Well, we'll let him work on that.
Yeah.
But that gives everybody obviously a good idea. And you did a great intro for us for one of our events that went off amazingly. That we worked on. You did a great job on that, and everybody, actually, even Shelley Luther, still talks about that. You had that. You weren't even there, but that whole building was rolling at what you had done. And obviously, again, your profession is a comedian. How long have you been doing that?
Yeah. So I started doing stand up about 23 years ago, and I had a day job. I was in sales. I used to sell the billboards in Times Square, the giant billboards. I was a rep for Clear Channel, and I went to school for advertising. And I always wanted to perform and do comedy, but my dad was old school, like get the job, have stability, make money. There's no money in the arts. You're going to be a struggling, miserable comedian trying to, having a horrible existence. Get the day job and go out at night and do it for fun. And so I was like really, really scared. So of course, I tried to take the less risk road, and then I went into corporate America. But I wasn't happy. I really knew that I wanted to perform for a living. I think a lot of people in their lives, are afraid to take risks. And you live once, and at some point you realize, if I don't do it, then I'm never going to do it, and then I'm never going to know what could have happened because I didn't have the courage. So after like 9/11, a couple of years after that, I just went full time. I left my day job and started off as a comedian, and was working in all the clubs around the country and trying to build up an act. And that's what a lot of people don't know the life of what a comedian does, but it's like going to the gym. You can't just go like once a month. You have to be on stage like 5 nights a week, 6 nights a week, constantly honing, your act, your material. So it's a lot of work. You get paid very little money. I would tell people I'm going out to do a spot, on a Thursday night, and they pay you like $25 for like a 10-minute set. And people are like, "What are you, nuts? You're going out, you're going into the city, you're going to be gone for 3 hours for $25? Like, what are you doing?" And it's like, yeah, well, you're not doing it for the money. You're doing it to get better and better. And then hopefully more opportunities will open up. So,
Tim, I've got that video ready and queued up if we want to try that again.
Absolutely. Be a good segue into that.
All right, here we go.
This is Donald, and this message is for the members of the Patriot-Owned Businesses Facebook group. A great group, a tremendous group, filled with hardworking patriots who love God, family, and country. And on behalf of me and Milani, we'd like to congratulate you, okay? We see that the group is growing very quickly. These are numbers, frankly, that no one's ever seen before. And this group operates by 2 simple rules. Buy American, hire American. I'm very happy, and I'm looking at many of you very closely for my 2024 administration. I think we're going to win by a landslide, to be honest with you. So anyway, keep up the good work. I'll see you all very soon. We love you, and God bless.
That's awesome. I love watching that.
Yeah, during COVID, once all that hit, the videos really kind of blew up. This was a world of Zoom and recording at home that people really never did. I mean, this wasn't something that was very prosperous for a lot of comedians. And this was something that kind of was created, this little niche, because people couldn't go out anymore to clubs and venues. So musicians and comedians and performers alike were now doing all these videos from home where there was an actual demand for video. And so like I was on Cameo, which I'm on now, on Cameo, which if people don't know that, it's where they can hire an athlete, a politician, an actor, a comedian to do like a personal message for someone's birthday, an anniversary, a little roasting, a get well. And before you know it, the whole year I was home every day shooting, 3, 4, 5 videos for clients. And, and I don't think it's going to go away. I think people now, there'll always be a place for that. So.
And it does, and it kind of puts you more connected with your fans in that too.
Yeah,
you don't have to
100%.
pay, whatever, $50, $100, $500, whatever for a ticket to go see him in an auditorium, when you can say, hey, let's get a little video made, and he's talking directly to us.
Yeah,
So
right. And it's customized. So, I mean, whatever information you want to give me, I'm sharing. So people can sit in their house and put it on their smart TV and have Donald Trump, wishing their husband, a happy 75th birthday. And I'm coming right to you. I mean, think about it. When we were kids, I mean, you didn't have anything like this. If you had a band that you liked, you had to write a letter to like the lead singer of your favorite band, and hope their like PR person maybe gave it to them. You're like, they're never going to see this. And now it's like you literally can go online. I mean, and you can do one-on-ones with pretty much anyone in the country, because now every performer, musician, comedian, actor, I mean, they all have this social media where they're connecting with their fans. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
And it's really connected. It's connected more than one generation of people. We're making fun of my grandmother, or not making fun of her. She's going to get mad if I said make fun of her, but she's 95 years old now. She has a Facebook, and there's actually a picture of her in the bathroom taking a selfie.
That's hilarious.
At 95 years old.
Is she single? Because I'll write to her.
She is. She is actually. That would definitely make her. I don't know. I think she's got quite a few bows on the string. So,
how about this? My mom's turning 80 in March, and she was on a site called Hot or Not. I'm like, Mom, does it really matter what people are rating you now? I mean, I just want to see what people think, how I look. That's all I want to do, babes. Just see how they think I look. I'm like, all right, Mom. Well, I gave you a 6, so don't be mad at me.
Hey, there you go. There you go. That's interesting. That's even better than my grandma's story.
I'll tell you, here's a crazy story for you if you want to hear this, Tim. My parents were divorced, and I always say my mother never did she divorced my dad. She never did the paperwork. She had everyone in the neighborhood sign a petition saying he was a jerk. And after like 6 names, he had to move out. And so I'm on a dating site, like I was on a bunch of different sites, when I was single. And so my mom tells me, she's like, I want to meet somebody. I see you're all on all these little sites that you're doing. I want to meet a companion. I'm like, all right, Mom. Well, she's like, I want to get on eHarmony. What's that all about? I said, I don't know. It's some corny site, whatever. She's like, I want to go on there. I'm going to put a little profile up. I'm like, Mom, it's kind of goofy. I mean, really? You really going to? She's like, yeah, I'm going to put something up for me. Would you? I said, all right, Mom. Well, you got to put your hobbies in. She's like, I'm 78 years old. I can barely move. What the heck kind of hobbies am I going to have? I go, Mom, you can put down anything. Like, I don't know, walking from room to room, looking for things you don't own. I don't know, talking to the cat. You put Vicks Vapor Rub on your loins. I don't know, put down anything. I set the whole thing up for her. I said, Ma, all you got to do now is you just got to plug in how many miles on the site you want them to search for you. So my mother only puts in 3 miles. 3 miles. I'm like, are you trying to meet someone at 7-Eleven? Like, what are you doing? They emailed her back a week later, and they go, based on your criteria and our search, we found one match for you, only one match in your local area. And who was it? My father.
Oh, my God.
He was also on the dating site. We didn't even know it.
Wow. We got about a minute for the first break.
Yeah.
Get the commercial through.
Sure.
Definitely got to continue this interesting conversation after we get done with our little commercial break. But that's food for thought. I got to remember that one. See, he should have put that on his next video for us. Which actually, I got questions for you about that too.
Yeah, so, sure.
Super excited to have you on today.
Sure, man.
Bother you for a little bit longer, but we're going to go ahead and hearing about. I'm looking at my counter. There we go. Maybe if I talk slow, we'll reach the 0. All right, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
The difference is made possible by the following small businesses: Real Property Management Focus, the choice to make when you want to feel confident and secure in knowing that your investment is earning the profit it deserves. The Financial Point, your go-to spot for all things finance. Platinum Eagle Insurance, providing the widest range of insurance options to make insurance easy and seamless. WeatherTech General Contracting, we make your home renovation dreams a reality. Lender's Choice Credit Solutions, utilizing our attorney-backed processes and only charging clients if and when results are obtained. This is how we have made the difference for over 10,000 clients and counting. And by Power on Utilities Concierge, your one-stop shop for all of your home's essential services.
Hey, welcome back to the Patriot-Owned Business Hour, Fireside. They said I should have named it Fireside with Tim. I actually do have a question for you about how you got doing the Trump impersonation, which I know you do other impersonations also. Maybe you can sneak a couple of them in before we're done here. But
Sure.
What got you, like, when did you start that? And, you know, how did you drive to be like, oh, this is definitely what I got to do? Because you got the mannerisms, everything is spot on.
Thanks. Yeah. So as a comedian, I do a lot of, impressions throughout my stand-up act, when I headline, which is usually like 45 minutes to an hour. And I at the time, this is going back 5-6 years ago, I had always wanted to be on SNL when I was younger, because that was really the only place on TV that comedians that do impressions, could really flourish, because it was a sketch show. And when I was younger, that was a show that wasn't so partisan. They kind of made fun of everything. And that was what people loved about SNL. We're going back 20, 30 years ago. It was a show that it was a bunch of no-name performers like myself, and they'd come on there and they would just make fun of, social issues, political issues. And it was just fun. And then at some point along the way, they just got turned, and now they're just like, it's strictly an agenda-based show that clearly is very partisan for liberal and against conservative or Republican, which is sad, because you're really cutting, half the country in half, and you're not allowing people to enjoy it, on all sides. Because at the end of the day, there's comedy in everything, right, left, and center. So anyway, at the time I was like, I wanted to get on that show. So as a performer, you got on a show like that, and that could really catapult your career. And you had to do something that, if you're going to do characters, it's got to be something that's very timely, very contemporary. And at the time, Trump was just starting to run. He announced he was going to run for president, and everyone was like, "Oh, you got a Trump yet? You got a Trump down?" And I didn't even try it. And I was like, "Oh, I should really do him." And I never really watched a lot of Donald Trump. I mean, I used to see him on, on his show, The Apprentice. So anyway, I started working on it. After 4 months, I get the voice down. And then I pitched it to a friend of mine who was a showrunner at Comedy Central. He was a producer for the show, the nightly show with Larry Wilmore. And I said, "Hey, I think I got the voice down. If you ever need a Trump, let me know." And they saw and back then it was very, very raw, the impression. I had the voice, I didn't have the mannerisms, I didn't have all the nuance. And he showed it to Larry Wilmore, and then within like 2 weeks, they were like, "Larry wants you to come in and do a reading as the character." And so I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay." I go in like 2 weeks later. I just came back from vacation. They put me in makeup. They said, "We want you to come read the script with all the writers in the room." I come do a reading. And then they're like, "Well, hang out, because we're going live and we're going to do our show tonight, and you're going to be on it." And that night, I'm literally at 11 o'clock, or I think it was 11:30. I'm as Trump on the nightly show with a live audience, on Comedy Central for millions of people to see. And I became their weekly Donald Trump. And that was for like 7 months. This is before he wins. And this is when a lot of networks thought it was almost a spoof that he was running. They didn't even think he'd had a chance. So, and of course, it being more of a liberal show, the jokes were always kind of making, making fun of Donald Trump. But it wasn't mean. It was just playful. It was all Trump's little isms. All the things about the little funny little idiosyncrasies about Donald Trump. Anyway, so then the show goes off the air and then he wins. And I'm like, oh my God. And I remember I was home, I was like watching the Super Bowl. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy won. And everyone's texting me going, oh my God, Bob, the next 4 years, you're going to be golden, you're going to have so much work. So what happens after that is for like the next 6 months, I'm thinking SNL, Jimmy Kimmel, all these shows are going to be calling me to do Donald Trump on their show. Well, the opposite happened. Nothing happened. For 6 months, the phone did not ring. And I was devastated. I'm like, I just worked so hard to kind of perfect this character. And it's like the hottest character right now. And no one wants to hire me. And then I realized, this is my opinion, but I believe that there was, when he was running for president, it was almost like a goof because they didn't believe he could win. So it was fun for them and safe for them to make fun of him. And then when he won, I feel like all of these shows, most of them, which are very liberal, were very upset. They were angry he won. There was a hangover. They were furious. Like, I can't believe this guy won. And I believe they didn't want to bring on somebody like me to make the character funny or make him likable. So if you notice, like all of those shows after he won, they didn't, other than SNL, they didn't bring on Donald Trump's ever. None of them. They would, all the people that had their show, the Stephen Colbert's, the Jimmy Kimmel, they would either do it themselves or they would have like someone do like a call in, but they wanted to control it because they didn't want the character to be fun. They wanted to have their own narrative behind it. That's what I believe. So anyway, the long story short,
you're 100% correct on that, because that would have been, like you said, I would have expected the same thing. Sit back, here we go. And like somebody actually just made a comment on here that you put Alec Baldwin's character from SNL to shame.
Yeah.
Well, you're a lot more, there it is right there. You're a lot more believable. Obviously, we already know where his stance is on.
Right.
Kind of going back to what you were just saying, and that's, not to get into politics or anything, but even through Patriot-owned businesses, talking to bands and, different venues and people, when we ask them about, certain ones they would join, well, we're kind of this or that. So I've noticed that in the entertainment industry, it is hard to find conservative Americans, and even some of them that don't say anything about it.
Yeah, you're talking about, like comedians or just performers alike that are conservative?
Yeah, comedians, bands, it doesn't matter that there's not, which obviously in Texas, we have a lot of bands here, that country bands and such that are, but like your profession, and being from the East Coast, that's got to be like a wake-up call to.
Yeah, I'm in a business where there are comedians out there that are conservative and Republican, and they're very vocal about it. But I would say in my business, I would say in the performing arts in general, there's probably a lot more of those that are liberal than those that are Republican. And I'm not political. I've never been political. I never voted until Donald Trump actually ran for president. How about that? So I never got into it because I always like to be, I guess consider myself like somewhere in the middle. I kind of vote for the person, not necessarily a party. It's more like my own personal ideals and my ethos. And I think now we live in a world that, unfortunately, with social media, it plays such a large part in everyone's life that people are definitely afraid to speak up and give their feelings because they know that they will make a lot of detractors, if they say how they really feel. I know for me, I can't win. I would literally go, I'm a performer, right? So think of it as Bob Hope. When Bob Hope was, one of the most famous comedians, and what was he doing? He would go over and perform for everybody. He would perform for Republicans and conservatives and liberals. It didn't matter. He was hired as a comedian, and his job was to go and be funny. He didn't care who he worked for, and he would go over and perform for the troops during a war, and he would probably get flack for that. Like, for those who are against the war. And his attitude would probably be like, I don't have to support the war to support the troops. And that's kind of how I am. It's like, I don't have to support someone's opinion who hires me, but I'm there to perform and just give people levity. And that's my profession. I don't want to get out of my lane. That's my lane. I'm not a pundit. I'm not a politician. I'm not I don't work for a party. My job is to go bring levity to everybody. And I feel like that's a great thing, but no matter what, I always get detractors. Like, most of the stuff I did on TV has been obviously liberal, because most of television, unfortunately, is liberal, other than Gutfeld right now. So like after that 6 or 7 months where I didn't get any work, then it's once they had to accept that Trump was president, then I started getting work. So then I was on The View, and
I bet
that was the video that you posted, I think, for this show today. And then I was on, I did the voice of Trump on Murphy Brown on CBS. I was on TBS doing a voice for a Trump cartoon. I got to tour with Kendrick Lamar and rapper YG, doing sold out arenas, 30,000 people a night in 2017. I did Coachella, one of the largest music festivals in the world, 80,000 people with hip hop artist YG. I mean, really, really fun, cool stuff. So I would do all of that. And then people on the right would kind of get angry, like, oh, you're selling out, oh, you sell out, you're doing Trump, for Jimmy Kimmel. And it's like, yeah, but I'm an artist. I mean, they're hiring me because they love my impression. Should I not do the impression because the script that they're giving me is more liberal oriented? It's like, no, it's like, it's all in good fun. And then I would go out the next week. I'm doing Jimmy Kimmel one week, and the next week I'm out doing the Georgia Boat Parade. I'm doing the Lincoln Freedom Gala in Idaho Falls with Candace Owens. And you can't get more. I'm doing the Michigan, Battle Cry Republican fundraiser with Corey Lewandowski. And so I really have covered the gamut. And I think that's why people really appreciate what I do, because I really play Trump down the middle. I'm playing him the way I would impersonate my dad at the dinner table. Like you go to your job every day, and there's always that you have your comic buddy that who works at your job, and he's making fun of everyone you work with. There's no agenda there. He's just poking fun at everybody, right? Because you guys all work together, and that's what I do when I do any impersonation. There's no agenda behind it. I play Trump as Trump. So if you love him, you're gonna go, oh my God, that's exactly Donald Trump. And if you hate him, you're going to go, oh my God, I can't believe it. That's exactly what Donald Trump was saying.
Right. So you're yet to play him down the middle. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that for sure.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I agree. I mean, you do a great job. The stuff is funny. And I've watched, obviously, the one from The View and all the other. It doesn't, it really doesn't matter.
Right. And at the end of the day, I try to tell people, and that I'm like, if the Republicans and liberals and what's going on in this country, it's like watching a football game, right? It's like you have blue against red, and I go, I don't want to be lumped in there. I'm the referee. Look at me as a referee, because my job and my profession is being comedic. My job is not to push forward agendas, because then I would lose who I am. And then I would lose really my ability to be funny if I made it serious. So I have to just play. I have to stay in my lane, which is just be comical. And for those who enjoy it, like if I put something on TikTok, whether you hate or love Donald Trump, it doesn't really matter. You can watch the impression and go, wow, that's a really great impression, and that's really a funny joke that he just said. That's it. People don't have to read into it, and it doesn't really matter.
You're doing your job.
Right. And in my own politics.
Hey, Bob, we're going to take a break here
Sure.
for just a couple minutes, and
Sounds
got
good,
some more cool questions for you.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, man.
Everybody stay tuned. We'll see you in just a couple minutes.
The difference is made possible by the following small businesses: Real Property Management Focus, the choice to make when you want to feel confident and secure in knowing that your investment is earning the profit it deserves. The Financial Point, your go-to spot for all things finance. Platinum Eagle Insurance, providing the widest range of insurance options to make insurance easy and seamless. WeatherTech General Contracting, We make your home renovation dreams a reality. Lender's Choice Credit Solutions, utilizing our attorney-backed processes and only charging clients if and when results are obtained. This is how we have made the difference for over 10,000 clients and counting. And by Power on Utilities Concierge, your one-stop shop for all of your home's essential services.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Bob Dibuono. I hope I'm saying that right.
It's Bob Dibouno, or it would probably be like you were in Italy, it'd be like Bobby Dibuono.
All right.
Dibuono.
A little more slang.
It's like Dibouno. And as I always tell people when I'm on stage performing, I go up there because I have to address the name. Because I go, yeah, my name is Bob Dibuono. Not a good name to have in high school. And then I always tell people, you can imagine what my nickname was. I go, you guys can yell it out if you want. There's always one person who's going to go, Boner. I go, thanks, idiot.
Right.
I go, yeah, the students didn't call me that, only the teachers, which is very inappropriate.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Actually, somebody just asked this too, and I was going to ask you, and I don't think I've even ever asked you this as many conversations we've had. Have you ever actually met Donald Trump?
So, yeah, I'm glad you asked that. So I have not met Donald Trump as of yet, but I have done so many Republican parties and events of people that know Donald Trump really, really well. And I know he knows I exist because I know he watches everything on TV. And I've been on so many shows that I'm sure that he's seen me. But I've not met him yet. But I do a lot of these events where people are like, oh, I used to do a lot of work with him. I was a lawyer for him 15 years ago. And that's the greatest compliment when they come up to me and they go, I know Donald, and I love your impression. You captured Donald. And I don't look like him. I'm not 6'2". I'm like, I'm 5'9". I'm like a mini Donald. I always say this is what Donald Trump needs to do. He needs to bring me out at one of his rallies, and I come out and do 5 minutes as him, and then make everyone laugh as him, and then he could come out and just like move me out of the way. Mini Trump and then Trump. So
I bet something like that. I'm sure. Hey, you never know. He might be watching this podcast.
Hey, you never know, right?
You get that phone call. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I really believe he would love my impression. Because there are other people out there, many of which that impersonate Donald Trump. They're bashing him, and I don't do that. I actually play Trump as Trump, which is like he's very likable, he's charismatic, he's funny, he can be self-deprecating, he can also be hilarious because he always talks in hyperbole. Like the way he walks into a room and he's like, look at this beautiful turnout. This is unbelievable. We've got about 17 million people here tonight. That's beautiful. It's a great number. It's a beautiful number. And they won't report it. You know that. They won't report it. They won't show it. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. So
that is so awesome. He just turns it on and turns it off just like that. You do that to your neighbors, and like you order pizza. You ever call and order a pizza online and use his voice or anything?
Do me a favor. Get me a pepperoni and a lot of sausage, and really tremendous, more sausage really than anybody's ever seen. I want you to load it up with sausage and lots of it. I want a lot, and bring it very quickly, because if you're not here, I'm not paying for it. That I can tell you.
You're fired. That would be awesome.
Fired.
That would be awesome.
So like I get a lot of, for those people listening today, if they, a lot of people don't know about Cameo, but have you heard about Cameo? Do you know about it?
I haven't. Actually, that's what I was going to ask you, because I don't remember exactly how I had got it set up that time, when we did the ones for POB. And I was going to ask you, let everybody know about that. Let them know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah. So I do private events all over the country as Trump, where I come live, like you and I talked about, private parties, private events. And, people can reach out to me directly. If we put my email address on here, by all means, people can email me directly, and then they would just give me a date and time. And then if I can be there, I do parties all the time. It could be a party in someone's backyard. It could be at a restaurant, a catering hall, a giant fundraiser, whatever it is. But a lot of my schedule over the last 5 years has been traveling all over the world, not just the country, but I did an event with Adam Lambert, the singer of Queen, for a doctor in Italy, which was unbelievable. Yeah, there's a clip of me doing a private event in Staten Island about 2 months ago. I don't know if there's any sound there.
And you can even, and I've looked at them online too. You can find them all over YouTube.
Yeah. So people could just email me directly at my email. I don't know if you're able to put it on the screen. It's bobintense@gmail.com. And then they can reach me. They can certainly follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and I'm also on TikTok. And then they can just write to me right through any of those platforms.
So the one that you're just talking about, the Cameo version, that's where they can go on if they want you to do a video or something for them also?
Yeah, for videos, they can either hire me through Cameo, which is a phone app. You download, it's free. Or they could just email me directly the way you and I worked, and then I can just, do it through email. But either way, people can hire me, whatever's easiest for them. And then so I can do videos where they can play it on their TV or their computer. Or of course, I love doing live appearances the best, because I really feel like, see, when I do a video, it could be like 4 to 6 minutes. But when I show up live, I'm giving a rally. I show up, they have a podium set up. People will have security walk me in. They'll play YMCA. And I'm giving like a Trump rally in your house, in your backyard, in your restaurant, and I'll do like 30 to 40 minutes as Trump. And I'll get all the info on the people at that party. So someone's throwing like a birthday bash, they'll give me all the names of their friends that I can really roast and go after. And it's great because then, not only do I show up and I'm talking about China and Sleepy Joe and rigged election, but now I know all this background on your buddies, Oh, this guy's a drunk and this guy, and I'm calling out their names. Where's Joe? Joe, by the way, I didn't recognize you. You were sober today. I couldn't believe it. He's a total alcoholic, right? He's a great alcoholic. He loves to drink. And I just go after all of them. So.
And that's like we would talk before. We're excited about it, and we're hoping we can make it happen this year at our 2-year event. That we want you to come out, let the cat out of the bag if we get it pulled off. Not the big surprise, but yes, to have you come out to, wherever our closest, which it might not be in Texas, but wherever our closest events be, and we'd be super excited to have you out to do that. I think you told me too. One time, or maybe it was a couple times, that you've done that, but they've had somebody as Obama or as another president come out with you or be there.
A couple of the events I've done. I have a friend of mine who does Obama, who is the best Obama impersonator in the world. I don't look like Trump, but I can, with the nuance and makeup, I can pull it off. But he looks exactly like Obama. And he's been doing Obama for like 10 years. His name is Reggie Brown, and he's out of LA. So we've done a couple of events where they've hired both of us on Zoom to like play off each other, or in person. And it's a lot of fun because those characters are so total polar opposite. Obama is so, like measured and, and very thoughtful in whatever he says. And then you have Trump, who's like this, like a comedian. You could just, he's always flying off the seat of his pants, and so it's been a lot of fun doing that. So yeah, I've done those events as well. Sure.
And again, like I said, anybody can find 99% of his comedy stuff, and not just the Trump. You watch some of the other videos I've seen where, like at your shows that you're doing in New York or wherever. Definitely super funny guy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
He's very personable, down to earth. Yeah, and that's why we love having him as part of POB. And
yeah, thank you.
We appreciate everything he's done. And there's a couple questions I was going to ask you. I got to read my own handwriting here real quick.
Yeah, by all means.
When it comes to I know obviously every comedian has hecklers, and you hear the good and the bad. Do you think that like after 2020 came around and everybody kind of got visual about what they believed in, to an extent, which obviously if you do Trump, that's everybody automatically assumes you lean to the right, no matter what. I mean, you might not. I mean, Alec Baldwin does them, and he doesn't lean to the right. Have you ran into that where, and you talked about it a little bit, but where people kind of get discouraged and actually voice this to you, about, hey, like like if you're doing a show and I know there's hecklers, I would never be one, but.
Well, first of all, even online, I get it a lot. I mean, like I put up videos on TikTok and Instagram all the time, and you'll get people, if they are more Republican, they may love the video, and then someone who isn't, they're angry that I'm sharing the video, and I'll get people like going, "I can't believe you're at the Georgia boat parade. I guess they'll do anything to make a buck." And it's like, what do you mean? I'm there performing. They hired me, and it's like they're angry that I was there, like bringing entertainment to Republicans, like as if I somehow would affect the election by doing Trump on a boat. It's like ridiculous. It's like so dumb. And I would get in these like fights with people, and I'm like, I'm just playing. I'm a comedian. This is what I do. And then on the other side, sometimes like I would make a joke online as Trump, and then people would think I was making fun of Trump. And it's like, no, I'm just playing Donald Trump. And they're like, you don't make fun of my president. It's like, do you not understand comedy? Like I'm celebrating Donald Trump. That's why I'm doing the impression. It's like they can't even understand that. But I was at Coachella. I had 80,000 people, and people throwing bottles at me when I was on stage, water bottles. I've had people walk out of clubs crying, girls crying, calling me a rapist, yelling at me. I mean, and I'm wearing a wig, I'm in makeup, and you're talking to me as if I'm Donald Trump. And then, so yeah, in this world that we live in, Tim, and it's sad that I've never seen it like this in my life. I don't think our parents saw it like this. I mean, where it's literally, there's two sides and there's no give. There's no one wants to listen to anyone's point of view. It's like they're dug in, and it's either their way or no way. And I don't know how it comes together. And then as a comedian, when I do live shows, I mean, even as a comic, forget about even politics. Because in my act, I'm not political. I'm talking about family and life and my girlfriend. And now we live in a culture that is so politically correct. So everything's cancel culture, this whole woke thing going on. So it's the worst time to be a comedian, because when you're on stage, there are people that go out to comedy clubs. They're looking to be offended. And what we do, if I'm on stage and you're in the audience, I don't know you. I don't know Tim. You're just a face. So whatever I'm saying, if you don't agree with it, it's okay. It's an act. It's a comedy act. If I'm watching TV, I don't throw a brick at my TV because someone says something I don't like. I just turn the channel, or I just realize that, okay, it's just a show. And there are people in audiences now that literally are looking to go, uh-oh, you just said that. That's offensive. And we always tell people as comedians, it's really a personal choice if you want to be offended. You have to make a choice, because nothing could offend you. I mean, I've had people come up in the audience that are disabled. And if I made a joke referencing someone that was disabled, I'm not doing it to be hateful. It's just the joke had someone disabled in it. And I've had people come up to me disabled that are actually like, thank you so much for doing that joke and including me. Because most people, when they see my disability, they shy away from it. They ignore it. They pretend it's not there. And it makes me feel invisible. I'm so glad that you pointed me out and you talked to me, and so that's what we have to get back to, because really comedy is just being playful. It's it's not hateful. It's just comedy. And so that's the world we live in now, unfortunately. But I've had some really horrible experiences as a comic. I mean, talk about performing. I tell people the story. This is one of the worst, Tim. I got hired 15 years ago. I do a venue in Atlantic City called the Borgata. And it's one of the top hotels in Atlantic City, the Borgata. So if you ever come east, you should go there if you go to Atlantic City. Atlantic City, the whole city is destitute. It looks like a war zone. But you have the boardwalk and you have some of these really nice hotels on it. So I went down to do an audition at the Borgata, and the guy says to me, "Look, I want you to see what you do. Come down, perform. Let me see if you're good. If you're good, I'll give you a week here to perform. You get a whole week, but I got to audition you. You come down, you do 10 minutes." So that day, I'm like all excited. I'm telling my family, "Oh my God, I'm at the Borgata, the big hotel." It's like doing the Tropicana, in Vegas or somewhere. So I go down there that day, and I'm so nervous. And I get down there, and I'm in traffic. It's like the worst day of traffic ever in New York. I can't get out of the city. It takes me 4 hours to get down there. I get down there 15 minutes before the show. I haven't shaven. I haven't eaten. I'm exhausted. I've been stuck in the car, and I didn't change. I run up to my room. I put khakis on, and I go down to the show. I didn't even get a chance to go over every comedian needs to go over their material and kind of like, okay, here's my set list. Here are my jokes. I didn't have any time for it. I get down there 10 minutes before the show starts, and I go, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm supposed to audition. We spoke on the phone." And the guy goes, "Oh, yeah. You're going on. You're auditioning." I said, "Okay, am I going on later, I guess? Because probably in the middle of the show." He goes, "Oh, no. You're going to go on first." And I go, "Oh, all right. Who's the MC?" He goes, "There's no MC. You're just going to come out first, and you're going to audition." And it's like Atlantic City, you got to understand, it's like 1,000 people, and everyone who goes to Atlantic City, they're all over the age of 90. Half the people in the audience, I think they die during the show. I mean, they're on their last legs. They don't even laugh because there's no air coming in for air to come out. I mean, they're wheeling them in. I mean, the stereotype. I mean, this is what a lot of these, hotels are like when people go gambling. I mean, they're wheeling them in. They're coming in on gurneys, wheelchairs. They're playing the slots.
Can you hold on 1 second, Bob? We got to take our last break here, but I definitely want to hear that.
Yeah.
The difference is made possible by the following small businesses: Real Property Management Focus, the choice to make when you want to feel confident and secure in knowing that your investment is earning the profit it deserves. The Financial Point, your go-to spot for all things finance. Platinum Eagle Insurance, providing the widest range of insurance options to make insurance easy and seamless. WeatherTech General Contracting, we make your home renovation dreams a reality. Lender's Choice Credit Solutions, utilizing our attorney-backed processes and only charging clients if and when results are obtained. This is how we have made the difference for over 10,000 clients and counting. And by Power on Utilities Concierge, your one-stop shop for all of your home's essential services.
All right, we're back. I'm sorry to interrupt you. That was just getting good. Figured we'd go ahead and get that out of the way, and then you can run with it now.
Sure, absolutely. So this is the life of a comedian, everybody. It's auditioning, trying to be funny for certain bookers so they book you again. So I show up to the Borgata 15 minutes before the show. I'm a total wreck. I'm exhausted. I don't have any time to go over my material. There's like 500 elderly people in the audience. It looks like a cemetery. It's hilarious. And the guy goes, "You're up first." I go in the bathroom. This is a true story. And I go into the bathroom, and I'm in this giant porcelain floor bathroom. It's like beautiful. And I'm peeing before I go on stage. And after like 30 or 40 seconds while I'm peeing, I realize I don't hear any sound in the toilet. And it's because my belt buckle was diverting my stream into my own pants.
Oh, no.
So it wasn't like a little, like, whoops, a little pee spot on your, some people get on their pants, like a little dime, like, whoops, a little pee stain. I was almost done. 40 seconds. My pants are drenched all the way down to my shoe. You could wring my pants out, literally wring them out. That's how full they were of me. And I wasn't paying attention. I'm an idiot. So now I walk out and I'm like, oh, I'm so humiliated. I can't even say like I leaned up against the sink and the sink was wet because it wasn't just around my crotch. It was all the way down the leg. So I walk out and I tell the booker, I go, listen, I can't go on. I got to change. So I got to go on later in the show. He goes, no, you're going on now to start the show in like 2 minutes. I can't. I look at my pants. He goes, what'd you do? Pee in your pants? You pee in your, what are you nervous? You pee in your pants? I go, oh, no. I didn't. It was an accident. My belt buckle, it was in the way. I was looking around the room. I'm standing there and I didn't pay attention. He goes, well, you got to go on. I go, I can't go on. I'm drenched. He goes, you got to go on right now. So he goes out to make the announcement and he goes, hey, everybody, welcome to the Borgata. We got a great show tonight. Your first comedian from New York City, Bobby P.P. Dibouono.
Oh, my God.
And I went out on stage and I bombed for 12 minutes. And all the old people were like in that looking at me and looking at my crotch and looking back up again and talking to each other going, so
Wow.
horrendous.
I tell you what, that takes some cojones to go out and do that because I just said, I'm out.
Oh, God. So many horrible things have happened to me. I had one event, one party, a show I had to do was another audition for a club. Allentown, Pennsylvania. It's a biker bar. It's a restaurant. Restaurant on the left, bar on the right, a lot of bikers, motorcycle guys, leather jackets, beer, swiggling. Hey, how you doing? You know, and they have this show, right? And I'm like, this is a hard audience. This is an audience you better win them over like that, where they're gonna kill you, you know. So I'm the guy who goes on second. The first guy goes on, bombs. They hate him. They're yelling at him. They're throwing food at him. I got to go on. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. And meanwhile, before I go on, there's a table on the stage, a little tiny stage. All right, like the width of your fireplace. Not a big stage. And then there's a table on it with like a black sheet over it. And it looks like there was a magic show earlier in the day. They must have had a magic show or something because there was a magic show display on the stage. So it's like you got the sheet, you got a hat, you got all this stuff. So I don't think anything of it. The headliner, the guy who's the big act, comes down. He's in a tuxedo. He's this older guy. He doesn't say a word to me. So I'm thinking, why would they leave all that junk up on that stage? I mean, we can't even, there's no place for us to even stand. It's ridiculous. So anyway, kid goes up, he bombs. I got to go up. I'm freaking out. Crowd's miserable. They're yelling, they're talking, they're shouting. I go on the stage. I do 2 minutes. I'm bombing. So what do? I go, well, let me use a little improv. I look at this. I look at the setup, the magic show setup. I grab a cape. I put it over me. I'm doing like Ozzy Osbourne impressions. I'm like, I can't believe it. Look at this crowd. Look at this, everybody. And then I got the hat on. I put the top hat on. And I'm doing like stupid impressions. Like imagine Jack Nicholson as a magician. Well, here we are, everybody. Here's my magic. And I pull over this little cape, and there's a little cage, and a bird flew out and flying around the room. And now all of a sudden, people are starting to laugh. Like pockets of people are now paying attention. They're laughing. They're giddy. The whole room now is getting really into it. I'm doing Dr. Phil. Well, here's the deal, everybody. You all are all crazy bikers, and there's really nothing we can do about it because I think you're nuts. And I'm doing Al Pacino. Whoa, look at this. Look at this crowd. What? And so they're going nuts. I'm killing. I do my 20 minutes. I got the cape on. I got the magic hat on. I'm waving around a cane. Anyway, I get off. I'm thinking this headliner is going to be so proud of me because I got the crowd really going now, right? I go over to the headliner. He's purple. He's literally purple. And he's looking at me with such disdain. He's like, you idiot, you stupid idiot. I'm like, what did I do? What did I go over? 20 minutes. I'm supposed to do 20 minutes. You stupid. As he's yelling at me, they're introducing him from the back. So over the giant loudspeaker, they go, your next act, your headliner, the magic of Tommy Jones. So he's walking up screaming, "You stupid idiot! You dummy! You just did my act!"
Oh no.
And then the booker comes over. He goes, "He's got to do 45 minutes, and you just did his closer, the thing with the bird." The bird's flying around the room. The guy has no material. I used every prop at his table.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't be too happy about that either.
So
we have PP pants, and we had somebody destroy another guy's show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you've had some good ones too.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I love doing Vegas. I do Vegas usually once or twice a year. I love doing that. I love doing the private events. Like doing the thing with the lead singer of Queen in Italy, and I've been to Switzerland twice. So I love doing the private events, doing the Trump stuff, and I love doing stand up and really good. I like going to really fun cities that I enjoy. I bring my girlfriend I go to Idaho a lot. I do Boise, Idaho. I happen to love Idaho. And yet, how about this? I have not performed stand up in Texas yet.
Well, let's see if we can change that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll bring you to the great state of Texas.
Yeah, I'll make sure not to pee in my pants. All right.
There you go. There you go. Trust me, everybody here loves you.
Good. All right.
Seen those videos you've done of just, I mean, even we talked about it earlier, but when you did that one, which I'm surprised it went off the way it was supposed to, and they played that up on that screen to introduce the last speaker.
Yeah.
That whole place went nuts. It was awesome.
Oh, that's great.
We'll get people asking me about that.
Well, I really want to also commend you. You've built, this Facebook group went from, I mean, literally it started with nothing, and now you've built it up, and now you've got how many followers now do we have in there? It's like 10,000 or something? Or
yeah, we're at 10,800 when I checked it this morning.
I mean that's amazing. That's really amazing.
Yeah, we are. I mean, even like doing this show, that's, you can tell the way people come together when they know it's for something that's good. It's
Yes.
just everything. It flows. It's like riding a bicycle. We just keep going and going and going. We love every minute of it. I mean, obviously, you supporting us and everybody else that supports us, and it's fun. I enjoy it. I like going to, we'll do little events. We did one called Evening with POB, kind of a networking event. And just seeing how many over there was there, 30 or 40 or 50 people just all talking and going, "Hey, I work for this company. Let's do this. I want to do this. I want to buy this from you." So it's a blessing.
Yeah. And you're creating this wonderful community of people that otherwise never would have met each other. And you're the conduit to bring everyone together. And that's what's really amazing about it, because there's so many. As Americans, it's like this country was founded on, neighbor helping thy neighbor.
Yeah.
And now you've got a platform that helps utilize that, whole mantra of bringing Americans together to help each other, and serve each other, and support each other. So I think it's such a great cause. And, I didn't really know too much about it. That wasn't my world. And then when you and I, got to know each other, and you reached out to me on Twitter, I think it's such a great thing. And I think that's why it's growing. And you're such a, you're a very honest guy who's very transparent. I think you're very accessible to people, and you need that. If you were somebody who didn't do all the, this interacting with people and the one-on-ones and having these small get-togethers where they're meeting you, they're getting to know you, you may not have been able to grow it like this. But I think people who get to know you the way I've gotten to know you, you're just a very down to earth, kind of what you said about me, person who is kind of wears his heart on his sleeve, who's just trying to do the right thing. And so I really commend you. So you're doing really, really cool stuff. So I'm really proud of you. So.
Well, thank you very much for that. That's nice to hear.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And everybody that helps with us, we got the volunteers, and that's just been awesome. And thank you again for that.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I think we got about maybe 2 minutes left. And what I usually do at the end of the shows, I just got a little list of about 6 or 7 questions. They're just those quick fire off questions.
I'll keep them short, I promise, because I don't.
That's fine. And you can do it. I tell you what, you can do it in whatever voice you want. You can run through your plethora of person.
Okay. All right.
All right. So, if you could have dinner with one person, living or past, who would it be?
Jack Nicholson. Always my favorite actor from the first time I saw him on TV in The Shining. I think he's a great actor, and I think he's very talented.
That was awesome. And actually, I like him too. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I think I wanted to be Donald Trump. I didn't know I wanted to do it. I thought I could do it. I wanted to do it. And it was something that it was almost sent from the heavens. And I said, maybe I should do him. And I thought, let me be him.
That was good too. Actually, we've had that answer a couple times. What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. Oh my God! Wow. Oh boy. I'm answering this as me now. Of course. My favorite movie would be I know there's a bunch of them. I would say Saving Private Ryan is up there. Love that movie. As far as that genre goes. Yeah, I would say that one. Okay.
That's a good one. That's a great movie. I don't even have to ask. Well, I'll ask him this anyways. Who do you believe was the best president?
Well, I think frankly, we all know the answer to that. And some people say Lincoln. Some people say Lincoln. And I think Lincoln was a great president. He really did a great job. But frankly, a lot of people think I'm a lot better than Lincoln because I didn't get shot. Look, winners don't get right. Winners don't get shot. You know that. I love Lincoln, but I hate to say it, he's not so good, right? Not so good.
That's awesome. I love listening to that. I think I got maybe two of them. Let's see. If you had a time machine, what historical event would you want to attend?
Oh man. Mm-hmm.
Riveting questions. Riveting.
These are riveting, right? The time. Where would I want to go back to?
Yeah. What historical event would you want to attend?
Well, I'll do this as Dr. Phil. Well, I would probably go back to the Declaration of Independence, the signing, because that was a really big event. And I think there would be great people there to talk to because a lot of them had emotional issues back then because they couldn't go to somebody like me. They didn't even have therapy back then. Back then, you just had to kill yourself.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That'll be the last question on that I'm going to ask them. Thanks again for being with us today. Go ahead and give everybody what your contact info is again.
Yeah, sure. So they can find me on my email is Bob Intense, like intense. Bob Intense, BOBINTENSE at Gmail. On Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, they can just type in Bob Dibouno, BOBDIBUONO. I'm putting videos up there all the time, and they can subscribe to my YouTube channel.
That's awesome. And of course, you can also find posts that we've shared of his through Patriot-owned businesses, Facebook, and we are revamping our website. So we'll make sure that your info gets loaded onto the new website under the business category also. Again, make sure anybody that's watching now, if you have friends, family, or businesses that would be interested in what Patriot-owned businesses offers, the best way to connect with us is Facebook, which once you type in Patriot-owned businesses, our logo will pop up, which looks like this here with the flag behind it. And then our website is patriotownedbusinesses.net. Back to Bob, again, we do appreciate it. And again, I appreciate everything you've done for Patriot-owned businesses. We're blessed to have you on here with us today, and it's been a great show. I'm excited to go back and watch it. Share it with your friends, share it with anybody that you know, and maybe we'll have to continue this. We'll probably have to do another one sometime in the future, but hopefully we'll get you out to Texas, or if you're out somewhere close and we're in the area, I'd love to come out and see one of your shows.
That would be great, Tim. Anytime. You can have me anytime you want. Feel free to reach out. All right.
Man, I appreciate you, brother. You have a good day. Say bye, everybody.
All right. Take care, everybody. God bless.
Tim, if it's all right with you, I'm gonna play that one video for him again that he did, and we'll end with that.
Sounds perfect.
This is Donald, and this message is for the members of the Patriot-Owned Businesses Facebook group. A great group, a tremendous group, filled with hardworking patriots who love God, family, and country. And on behalf of me and Milani, we'd like to congratulate you, okay? We see that the group is growing very quickly. These are numbers, frankly, that no one's ever seen before. And this group operates by two simple rules. Buy American, hire American. I'm very happy, and I'm looking at many of you very closely for my 2024 administration. I think we're going to win by a landslide, to be honest with you. So anyway, keep up the good work. I'll see you all very soon. We love you, and God bless.